Hello and welcome to Scran. It's that time of the year again when we head to the world-famous Edinburgh festivals to sample some of what's available for locals and visitors alike. And my, are the festivals back with a bang this year? Edinburgh is absolutely jam-packed with people and performers. Producer Kelly and I braved the busy streets, starting our day with an Eating Edinburgh Fringe Festival Food Tour. Luana, our host, brought us to 4 different restaurants and shops in the city, learning more about the Fringe and catching some street performances on the way as we ate our way around Edinburgh. Nice classic dish enjoyed on the steps of some monument on the Royal Mile, watching a guy balance on some chairs. Our next stop was the Edinburgh Gin Distillery for Ready Steady Cocktail. Yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. That famous show, Reincarnated, but with Edinburgh Gin-based cocktails.
That is a unique combination. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What can you do? What are they going to bring together?
I think we're very lucky in the fact that they're all savoury, so we're going to play off that.
There's so many things you can do. Like, as you say, you could make a nice dinner, but this is going to make a really good cocktail. And Jamie is terrible.
Fighting talk.
Finally, we went along to see Emmy Award-nominated Corey Cavan's Enjoy Your Meal, a one-man show which portrays a somewhat fraught evening in the life of chef Wayne Swingle.
Even in the midst of all the chaos, you can still have some really good food. And someone who's doing so many things wrong can do just a few things right. And you can be impressed while that person is still kind of falling apart and failing.
Here's our guide from Food Tours company Eating Europe, Luana Scott-Moncreif, as she walks us around the festival city.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Eating Europe's Edinburgh Fringe Tour. It's a brand new tour, so it's a super exciting one. The concept of this tour is super simple. We've got an hour and a half ahead of us, and what we're going to do is we're going to have some takeaway food, so to get a nice taste of some local food while watching street performances. So Edinburgh Fringe is an amazing event that happens here in August. It lasts for 3 weeks and it's about 55,000 performances, so it's huge. There's about 4,000 shows, and about a quarter of those are actually Scottish. Lots of them are also from Edinburgh, so a lot of people around the UK that study drama or arts will come for the Fringe to kind of perform their end of year show performances. So the history of Fringe is that it started in 1947. At the time, the Edinburgh International Festival was just born, and the whole idea of the Edinburgh International Festival was to basically get together with other European countries after the Second World War and kind of celebrate different cultures from Europe. 1947, 8 theatre companies showed up to Edinburgh, ready to perform, uninvited, and in the spirit of spontaneity, Edinburgh International Festival decided to find venues for these theatre companies and jokingly called it Edinburgh's Festival Fringe, and that's how it all began. That grew over the years, and eventually in 1958 the Edinburgh Fringe Society was born, and that was kind of to create a bit of an official structure around it. Today it's about 4 million people that visit the city for August and for the Fringe. To give you a bit of perspective, there's about just over 500,000 people that live in Edinburgh year round. So that is a lot of people, but it's super fun. The streets are basically theatre performances and you just don't know what you're going to find. We're now going to head to our first food on the menu.
That's a really good idea in terms of you walk past the performers on your way to other places, so you maybe miss the performance and any sort of places to eat round about. So I'm just excited to see what we're going to get.
Well, the first, it's a little bit of a staple, kind of our national dish. We have to go with haggis to begin this at Arcade. It's a couple doors down the street, and we'll just pick it up. They'll have it nicely packed for us and head to some performances.
Okay, thank you very much. is a special festival Fringe tour, obviously, but what are the tours like normally? Do they run all year round? Like, what can people expect if they're not at the Fringe?
Eating Europe is a company that actually started in Rome. The person who created Eating Europe is called Kenny Dunn, and basically he travelled the world, and food was always a really big part of how he travelled. And so when he moved to Rome, he decided to just kind of have his friends and people he met along his travels come to Rome and taste different foods while he told them about the history of the city. And then in 2011, he started the company to kind of make it an official thing. So now we've got about 18 destinations around Europe. Edinburgh is actually one of the newest ones, so it started in March, and I've been touring with them since May. So it's a very fresh tour. The more traditional version that we do is a 3-hour tour, and in that one we sit at different places, including arcades.
So we're just on Coburn Street and in Arcade Bar, which is known for its haggis, and it's conveniently across the road from a cafe called Scran. Imagine that.
It's the best time of the year. Best time. Never better. I love having all these people from all over the place. There's something for everybody. It's really cool to see a lot of people just like trying to do their best, and a lot of people supporting people trying to do their best, you know? Independent artists, comedy, music, theater, you name it. It's a good time.
And all of them enjoying delicious haggis.
Yeah, well, you know, I love haggis. They don't pay me extra to say it. It's not scary. If you're not from here, to whoever's listening to this, come to Scotland, try haggis. Lovely people, lovely food, amazing city. We hope to see you here. My name's Lucas.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
So here we've got haggis bonbons with some crispy parsnip, crispy kale, and a raspberry and whiskey marmalade. And that kind of comes to replace the traditional whiskey sauce and root vegetables, leeks and tatties that you would find with haggis traditionally. What do you think of it?
Really good. The crispy kale and the crispy parsnips are delicious, and the sauce is lovely. I can imagine it would be very nice with how rich haggis is.
Yeah, the bonbons are absolutely lovely. Spicy, just the right amount of spice, what you need in haggis. And I'm a haggis fan anyway, so preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, I always like to tell people it's basically like a kind of peppery meatball. Another thing I tell people is that if you've had a hot dog sausage, then you're safe to eat haggis.
Yeah, exactly.
So a little bit about the spirit of Fringe. When the Edinburgh Fringe Society was born in 1958, one of their main ethos was they would never vet any shows on the Fringe programme. And that is why we have such a huge number of shows and a huge number of performers. Basically, anyone with a story to tell and a venue to host them will be able to perform at the Fringe. And even if they don't have a venue, they can just go onto the Royal Mile and have their performance there. The Royal Mile is the most spontaneous part of Fringe. It's where you find all sorts of performances, whether that's music, theatre, clowning, there's really all sorts. And just like you, I have no idea what's there today, so let's go discover.
Let's go.
Before we go ahead and watch some street performances, we're going to go and pick up our second piece of food on the menu. We're going to get our fish and chips from Landy's, which is quite a new restaurant, but has quickly become very well established.
This is great because I've written about this, but I've not actually been, so I'm excited to try it.
Oh my god, another one! That's great.
There's a lot going on here just now, like in food and drink in Edinburgh in general, not just here in the Fringe. So yeah, this is cool.
It's also nice to have fish and chips right in the centre of the city.
Yeah, so it's a really, really big restaurant just in the corner of the Royal Mile. It's looks kind of like modern retro inside, lots of stripes, a bit like deck chairs, neon. Yeah, it looks big kitchen. It's quite busy. I can imagine fish and chips. Do you want to interview?
Okay, go on then. What's your name?
My name is Zoo.
And how is your festival going so far, Zoo?
It's going quite good, not gonna lie, I like it. It's getting busy. What about you? How is it going? How many people did you manage to interview?
Today's our first day at the festival, so we're here. We're going to blow in and blow out probably.
That's amazing.
So tell us, what do you find the tourists like to order then?
Over here, most tourists will order the battered haddock, which is the classic fish and chips. But here we do also some tapa, so a lot of people would go for the tapa, which is quite good. It's a nice experience to share if you're a big group of people, so it's quite good, yeah.
And business is booming for Landy's.
Yeah, it's good. Good money.
Have a great festival.
You too.
Is it someone inside a balloon? Or at least their head is.
Kids seem to be loving it, to be fair.
Yeah, the kids are loving it. And being freaked out as well. There must be about 400 or 500 people just standing around watching this show. And the guys just burst out the balloon.
Yeah, I think that's the wonderful thing about Fringe. It really celebrates the absurd.
Your Majesty, 2 for 1 tickets.
No, thank you.
Your Majesty.
Alright, 620. Governor Shakespeare, stand up.
Thank
2 for 1.
I thought the fish and chips were delicious, really good chips, nice big piece of fish. It's definitely a lot for a small portion. But yeah, nice classic dish, enjoyed on the steps of some monument on the Royal Mile, watching a guy balance on some chairs. You've done this before. You've lost people before in a crowd, haven't you?
This is actually, believe it or not, the first time I've lost it.
But you need to stand on a bollard to see us. So
I was just like, there's gotta be somewhere.
For anyone that's never been here before, we're just walking up the Royal Mile. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. There's people promoting things, there's people performing, there's people just wandering about, there's live music, as you can probably hear, all different kinds, acoustic, electric guitar. There was a silent disco a minute ago. So you'll literally see everything and anything just coming up here.
At Victoria Street. This is probably the most iconic, most photographed street in Edinburgh. It's got these beautiful, colourful facades and lots of really exciting wee shops. It's also very popular for Harry Potter, but we are not here for Harry Potter, we're here for cheese. So this is IG Mellis. They started out as a kind of cave-like shop and then have grown to be basically the most well-known cheesemongers in Edinburgh, and they're extremely talented people working here. They just know their cheese very, very well.
I am Ria Malone. I am the manager of the Vic Street Mellis shop. So we are gonna have a taster of 3 different Scottish cheeses for you guys today. You have got a little bit of, this is the Isle of Mull cheddar, so quite a sharp, quite a mature cheddar. It's definitely the best seller within the shop. I think it's the kind of thing that most people are familiar with, and this is a very good version of it. So it's aged for about 18 months, quite a creamy texture, but really delicious, quite sharp flavour, kind of makes your mouth water. You're also going to have a little bit of Old Reekie, which is another kind of like smoked cheese. This one is made just in between kind of like Dundee and Aberdeen. You're looking at kind of like Ballater direction, but nice like smoky flavour to it. Kind of smoked over the chains of whiskey barrels, so very Scottish, and obviously named after the old name for Edinburgh. And then a little bit of blue cheese as well, which is Lanark Blue. So Lanark Blue is a sheep milk blue. It's made by the Errington Dairy about 40 minutes south of Edinburgh, down in Lanarkshire. It's a little bit saltier and a little bit stronger than most blue cheese. It has a really lovely flavour and a nice creaminess to it, but the sheep milk has less fat in it, so you do generally taste the blue a little bit more just because there's less creaminess to kind of counterbalance. And then you've got some oatcakes to have it with as well.
Thanks very much. It sounds and looks delicious. The people that come in during the Fringe, do they have specific Scottish cheeses they want to try, or is it just sort of looking for sort of any sort of recommendation?
I would say definitely Scottish cheese is what our most requested kind of thing is, especially in this branch. We sell a lot of, especially the Isle of Mull, so one of the cheddars you're trying, that's kind of like our best seller, but I think a lot of people come in with like a general understanding that there will be Scottish cheeses, but not a specific understanding of what cheeses those are. So we do a lot of kind of explaining and tasting and talking people through the differences. Scottish cheese, we have quite a big, like a lot of different places produce it, but it is not necessarily all of our recipes originate in Scotland. We do a lot of taking other places' recipes and kind of making our own version of it. So we have cheddars and we have blue cheeses, and none of them originally come from Scotland, but we kind of all put our own twist on it. So it's like a very live, ever-evolving kind of industry. That and Scotch eggs is what we mainly get asked for, I would say.
Do you ever get any lost Harry Potter fans?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do a lot of tour guides direction. Where's the castle? How to get the castle from here? And also a lot of Harry Potter directions. But it's a nice mix. I think the people who come in generally are interested enough to like stick around and try some stuff. So we don't get every passing tourist, but we do get a bunch of them. Definitely this year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the cheddar was lovely, sharp, like they said, really moreish. Could have eaten probably a whole block of that, to be honest. The smoked was much kind of milder, creamier, really hint of smoke there if you've had like a smoked cheese before. Not very smoky, but very nice. And the blue was not too strong, very creamy, really good with the oatcakes. So yeah, very nice snack, which I don't feel like I need at this point, but it's been very delicious.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's how you start dessert, is cheese. So we are at the end of the grass market. I love to bring people here because to me this is the best view of the castle. This is where our next stop is. It's just across the road. It's Kilted Donuts, and Kilted Donuts do an extremely fun thing. It all started with Lena and Mark went to New Orleans for the honeymoon, discovered the donut scene there, loved it, decided to bring it back to Scotland. And it started as a market stall, and now they have about 3 shops around the city in Edinburgh. So what they do is that they take traditional Scottish desserts and then they turn them into donuts.
Sounds delicious.
It is. Alright, so this is a Cranachan donut.
Oh, wow.
Of course, Cranachan is a traditional Scottish dessert. It's usually, or traditionally, it was a harvest celebration dessert, and what it is cream, sometimes with a bit of whiskey, fresh raspberries and toasted oats. In the donut form, that is a cream-filled donut with a raspberry glazing. They do actually use actual raspberries to make the glazing, and then you've got your toasted oats on the top.
This is delicious, very sweet, but I'm getting like old school raspberry donut vibes from it as well as Cranachan.
Nice.
So if you're a fan of an old school dessert, go for this, but it is huge. It's like the size of my face. So this has been brilliant because not only have we had really good chat with you, we've seen some street performers and bits of Edinburgh that come alive more so in the festival than anytime else, but we've had a lot of food. Like it's been a really proper 3-4 course meal. Because other walking tours with food, maybe getting little tasters here and there and you leave feeling a bit hungry. This is if you book this, you're going to get a lot of food and feel really good at the end. Where do you like to eat and drink during the festivals?
So I've got a few different places. I feel like if I'm looking for a quick lunch, I'll go to the very well known in Edinburgh, either Now Valley of African Wrap. There's always a ongoing competition between the two wrap places because they're next to each other. I think they're both great actually. If I want to get a little bit outside of the festival and want a nice meal, I would go to Cafe Royale. Because they've got some really beautiful foods, beautiful Victorian setting. It's a lovely space. And then my favourite restaurant in Edinburgh in general is Soul Vegan, which is a really beautiful Malaysian restaurant. Delicious food.
Nice. So for anyone that does want to book the tour, how can they do that and how often does it run and what are the details?
All right, so for the Fringe Eating Europe tour, we've got tours every day during Fringe from 2 to 3:30. And you can find the information on the website Eating Europe Edinburgh. And you can either book the sit-down version if you want something a little bit more spread out, or if you want the Fringe experience with the street performances and the takeaway food, then that is the 2 to 3:30 every day.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great afternoon to see the sights and trying some really good food.
Awesome, thank you.
Next up, Gordon Dundas hosted Ready Steady Cocktail at the Edinburgh Gin Distillery in the Archies. I also spoke to Sarah Pryor, Brand Home's Head of Sales and Marketing for Edinburgh Gin Distillery, who told me all about the show and gave me an update on the new distillery.
So, tonight, as you've seen, is Ready Steady Cocktail. So what are we going to do tonight? Well, you all have a gimlet in front of you, so enjoy your first drink of the evening. Essentially, we're going to get two of you out the audience to come and make a cocktail. Some of you may want to do it, some of you may not want to do it, but you may have to come and do it. That's the way this works. We're going to be doing it through, well, we need some way of defining the flavours that you're going to use in this cocktail. So, I want to introduce something that we have spent months creating. It is the Tombola of Taste. And this is going to define the botanicals, the flavours that we're going to put the cocktails in. We'll do a little bit of the housekeeping of that in a minute, but thank you for the Tombola of Taste. You can see here we have two teams, Juniper and Rhubarb. Juniper is these two. These are the professionals. These are the people that spend hours making and drinking cocktails, going to other bars so you can make sure you're making the best drinks. It's a tough job.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It is difficult. It is difficult. So, and then we've got, effectively, Rhubarb is you guys. And you will become a cocktail maker, or one or two of you will become a cocktail maker during the evening. So, if you're a budding cocktail maker, I may pick you. We'll see. We'll come back to that in a minute. But I just want to do a little bit of introduction. So, where are you from? Where's everybody from? Where are you from, sir?
Hello, it's Sarah. We're here in the Edinburgh Gin Distillery. It's the first time Scran's been here. We've seen it as a hole in the ground and some plans, and I've been here personally myself, but it's the first time Scran's been here. So thank you very much for having us. Can you just tell us a little bit about how it's all going?
Sure. The distillery opened on the 6th of December, so we're just past 6 months, so really exciting for us. And we've done really well so far since we've been open. We have 5 different experiences that are available now for people to book, as well as our main distillery bar. And then we have 2 bars open on the rooftop, our roof garden bar and our roof terrace bar, that are open throughout the entire Fringe.
And you've also got a show on, which we're here to see and talk about. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So Ready Steady Cocktail. It's a really fun, fast-paced show based on that well-known TV programme with a little bit of a twist. We have our team of professional mixologists pitted against a team of amateurs. And we have this amazing tombola of taste that gets pulled out on the night with some weird and wonderful botanicals for people to choose from. And that's what the teams have to make their cocktails with. So it could be anything like Marmite and Haribo sweets against rhubarb and basil, and they have to create their cocktail. They have to do it really quickly and make a sample of that cocktail for everybody in the audience, and then everybody in the audience will then vote either Team Juniper or Team Rhubarb for whichever one wins.
Would you like to pick the first ball? So you don't worry about colour, you don't have to worry about colour. Everybody else does, but you just get in there and pick. Yeah, give it a go. Ooh. Especially long. We've got a blue. Blue one. And can you open that and tell us what's inside it? So the next person that picks one has to pick a blue. What have we got? Black pepper. Okay, thank you. We're going to write these on here. Black pepper, blue. And that's for the professionals. So if we give you the chance, sir, to pick up another blue, pick a blue.
I have to pick blue. Okay.
too fat to go in there. And this will be what the rhubarb team or the amateur team will be using. Tomatoes. Whoa! Here we go. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
So can you tell us like how long it's going on for and how people can get involved if they want to come along?
Sure, we are running for the full stretch of the Fringe, so our last show is the 23rd of August, and tickets are available on the Fringe show and also available on the Edinburgh Gin website as well.
So do you know sort of now who's coming to the show? Is it locals, is it tourists, and are they gin fans, or is it going to be quite educational for people that don't know a lot about gin?
It's much more of a fun show, so there's not real education in there. We tell them a little bit about Edinburgh Gin as a brand and also the basis of the classic, which is our core gin of the Edinburgh Gin brand, and that's what they're making all of their cocktails round about. We've had a real mix of people that are coming. We've had a lot of locals and we've had a lot of visitors coming as well from all different countries, which is really fun and exciting for us to be able to host them in the distillery.
What are you thinking at this stage? Looking at the reactions in the room, nobody's run out yet and been needing to go to the loo, which is a positive thing. But yeah, just give us your thinking.
I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling happy that you guys get to try such a fabulous drink from us.
What's the name? Have you come up with a name?
Dill or no dill?
Very good.
Excited for you all to try it and love it. Aware that a lot of you have friends on the other team. But remember, there's no love in this war.
So we're asking everyone this on our festival podcast. Where do you like to eat and drink during the festivals, and do you have any tips for anyone visiting?
I like something really easy and quick when I'm out with the show, because we tend to do like a couple of days, just solid shows all day. So street foodie things are really good. So George Square is excellent. The Edinburgh street food market is a really good choice as well.
So can you tell us a bit about what's going on at the distillery for the rest of the year, and if people want to come and do a tour, when are they running and how can they get involved?
Sure. We have, as I mentioned, we've got 5 different experiences that take place throughout the week. We have our classic tour and tasting. That runs every day, certainly during the Fringe and for the rest of the year, from 11 a.m. with our last tour at 6 p.m. Decadent Duo, which is an amazing gin and chocolate pairing, again available 3 times a day, every day. Our gin making experience that takes place at the weekends, which is where you're creating your own bespoke bottle of gin to take away with you with your own personalised label. Aroma Alchemy, tasting all about how your senses work with taste and smell. It's a real tasting masterclass. And then, of course, our mix and muddle cocktail making experience up on the roof terrace, which is just an amazing experience. And they can all be booked from edinburghgin.com/visit.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So about 15 to about 12. We have our winners. Well done. And I think you should all try each other's cocktails. Really different. And I think, you know, that when you look at the ingredients that you have, olive oil, dill and black pepper, you knew that was going to be much more of that savoury, that mixing that in with third flavour that you had, which was lime, it was always going to make it a bit more fruity. But what a great contest, what a great evening. Hope you've enjoyed it.
The final stop on our Foodies Day Out at the festival was to see Enjoy Your Meal, written and starring Corey Cavan. You'll hear some of the show here, as well as a chat I had with him online the next morning.
Hi, my name is Chef Wayne Swingle, and I'm here to give you the best meal of your life. Thank you so much for coming to the restaurant tonight. Really appreciate you being here. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit about where you are. I am the executive chef here at the restaurant. The restaurant is born out of its parent restaurant that is called the Dirty Trout. The Dirty Trout was renamed from the Filthy Fish for obvious reasons. And come on in, you guys find your seats, find your tables.
Okay, I'm now joined by Corey Cavan, who is doing a show at the Fringe for the first time, and despite having a very long, very successful career in comedy. Corey, for anyone that doesn't know you or your work, could you please just give us a sort of brief update on your career to date?
Sure, yeah. So I have kind of a dual career that involves performing and also writing, directing, and producing. I've worked in television a lot. I started in New York about 20 years ago. I moved there to do improv, and then I also worked as a producer for a show on VH1, a clip show called Best Week Ever, and then that led me to work for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon as a producer for the internet side. And then after that, I went on to work with Nikki Glazer and Sarah Schaefer, two comedians at a show at MTV. And then I worked for Stephen Colbert. And then I worked at Bon Appetit magazine, directing videos for them. And the whole time I was doing videos on my own and doing stand-up and doing sketch comedy and acting. So I've kind of had this sort of like all over career. But the thing about working at Jimmy Fallon that was interesting was when I was working there on the internet side, that's when I started to work with chefs because chefs would come on the TV show and we would do a little thing behind the scenes with them where I'd do a video with them. It was called Late Night Eats. And it was like, what would you make like a university student for $10 in 10 minutes or something? And you would have these great chefs like Anthony Bourdain or David Chang of Momofuku or someone just come in and be like, all right, here's what you would do if you had no money and no time. And that really got me interested in starting to work with chefs too. So that's a brief rundown, I think, of a lot of things that I've done.
Yeah, it's loads, and it's a lot of well-known names there that we would know here as well. So how did you go from that to the Fringe? Like, what drew you to the Festival Fringe?
I'd known about the Fringe in New York. There used to be a Fringe Festival in New York. It was like back in the 2000s, maybe the 2010s. But so I'd known about it through that. But I have a friend who I'm doing another show with at the Fringe. My friend Kevin James Doyle. He's a stand-up. We did a show together in New York. We hosted a stand-up show for years. And he came here for the first time in 2017. So I flew over here and surprised him at his show, walked into his show one night. He didn't know that I was in Edinburgh. And then he brought that show. It was called The 30-Year-Old Virgin. He brought that back to New York. I directed the comedy special for that. And then this is his fourth time at Fringe. And he's always told me, like, you need to come. You've got to come do something here. And last year I came to see shows and visit him. And we started, we were talking to some people at a bar. And he was saying, yeah, Corey's doing a show here next year. And I was like, I am. And I'd had this idea for this food show. And so as we talked to people, it just kind of became a cold pitch to people to say like, oh yeah, the show is this. And it wasn't written or anything yet. And that's kind of when I decided to start messing with it, was last year at Fringe. So it was a very slow toe into the water of seeing the Fringe. I'd been to Edinburgh as a visitor without the Fringe before. And then I come twice to the Fringe. And this year it was like, okay, let's actually do something here. So yeah, that was how.
And how does writing and performing a one-man show at the Fringe compare to something massive like Jimmy Fallon? Is it very, very different, or is there similarities?
It's obviously different in the sense of the scale, and the scope. But I will say one thing that is the same that I've found through all those things is that, the biggest thing about one of those things is you're putting on a live show, you have an audience, and you have a hard deadline. So like when we would work at Fallon, the TV is live to tape. So, sometimes you are live on the air, but a lot of times you're live to tape and then it airs later that night. But when it's showtime, you have the audience in, you have a warm-up comedian, you have all your details planned out. And as you know, my show has a lot of details with a lot of props and food and stuff like that. So there's this element of, oh, we have to go. Like it's 7:10, people are loading in. We have to set these things up.
Too bright. Okay, and now and we're already back. We're back at the egg white. Look at that. Didn't take any time. Like I said, go much faster. So, and that's the thing. In cooking, what happens a lot of times is same as in life. You know, you learn by doing, and sometimes you learn more when you make a mistake. Come on. Okay, we're gonna go, like I said, even faster this time. So, what is this? Tell me one more time. Pickering's Gin, right? Yeah. Very good local gin. Super friendly guys there. Okay, and then Campari. Arrivederci, right? Okay, good. Yeah, Italy, good. Herbaceousness, yep, did that. Cool. The next, simple, how many people we have in here?
The other thing that I've seen that is similar is that, you know, I did this show myself, and I ran it a few times in New York, and I was carrying bags of everything everywhere. And I got here and realized I cannot do the entire thing myself. Like I have, you know, a brilliant tech, Sophie, who, she techs the show. I hired 2 people to help me bring things in and clean things up because I have such a short time to get in and out. And that's the same thing when you work on television shows. It's just like there's so many moving parts and there's so many people. So it's like a communal experience too. So yeah, the scale is different, but a lot of times the process is the same too.
Your show is it's immersive and edible. People do get to eat, and you play Chef Wayne Swingle, who the tagline is "The audience eats while the chef breaks down," which is exactly what happens. So you've talked about how in your career you've worked with some chefs on video. Was Chef Wayne Swingle based on anyone or any sort of situation, or, you know, like just now what's trending is the bear, and everyone's really into this very intensive, like, stressy chef situation. Is how did him as a character come around?
It kind of came around. I mean, in some ways, I was talking to a friend who, a friend that I've worked with a bunch in New York, who's a collaborator of mine. My friend Bill Gramberg. We did a bunch of things together, and he had come over here and was helping me. He surprised me here the same way I did Kevin years ago, and he helped me do the show. And he had said, he was like, you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but he said, in some ways, this character is just you. And it's because I often, like, I'll have people over for dinner or something, and I always try to pack way too many things into a short amount of time. And it's often meant out of, you know, it's always out of good intention, but it's always getting in a little too far over my head. And in some ways, I think Wayne Swingle is a little bit based on me because it's in the worst way. It's someone who's trying to do a really good thing, but he has the right intentions, but he's just got too many things on his plate at that point. So I think it's a little bit built out of that. And then I think there's a thing, like you said, with the bear, with all these chefs. It's meant to be, everyone knows it's a really stressful environment. You hear horror stories, you know, of people working in restaurants where people are shouting at each other, someone's behind, and someone yells at someone. So it's kind of an amalgamation of just thinking of what that environment is, plus someone. I always think it's funny, as terrible as it is. I think it's funny of watching someone try to hold everything together when things are just falling apart, and often they're a little bit the problem. And so I think that's where it comes from. It's, you know, just that idea, that being a little bit of myself, and then that being those chefs. I haven't really worked with a lot of, it's funny, most of the chefs I work with, they're all super talented and really composed, and are probably much more professional than Wayne Swingle, which is good because I don't think it would make the best show about them if they, you know, weren't like that.
Oh no, I want the hard seltzer.
You want the hard seltzer? Good God. Okay. We get one more hard seltzer. Pass these to, yeah, give that to her. Another hard seltzer. How about a hard tonic? Does that work? Yeah, okay, good. What's that?
Why not?
Oh, okay. I thought you said no, and I was like, oh my God. Okay, cool. Why not? Yeah, I love that attitude. All right. If anyone else wants a drink, who am I talking to? Who are, there you are.
For anyone that's obviously thinking about coming to see it, or obviously we've talked a bit about the character there, but just to give it context, how would you describe the show to potential audiences?
The original thought of the show was that I was going to serve a 5-course meal to people. And I was trying to figure out how to make that work structurally to say, okay, you come in, you get this, you get this. And actually now the show is a 5-course meal. You do receive 5 things to eat or drink over the course of it. However, I would say it's like you're coming to a comedy show, you're coming to a character show about this person trying to do their best, and you do receive some food and drink. And despite the host's best intentions, you're not sitting down for an entire meal, but hopefully you're walking away with a fun experience. You learn a little bit about food, and you enjoy your night, and you laugh, and you get to eat a little bit.
So you mentioned you've been in Edinburgh a few times with the Fringe and out with the Fringe. Is there anywhere that you've enjoyed eating and drinking in the city?
Yes. I went to Edinburgh Larder the other day. That place was so good. My family has been here a couple times, and my parents, being Americans, my dad always talks about asking me if I got haggis. And so, because we don't really have haggis, and it's obviously, very traditional here. I know that a lot of people some people probably eat it, some people don't. It was great. I had a full Scottish breakfast, delicious. So that place, Kim's Mini Meals. There's a place called Kim's Mini Meals. It's a Korean place. It's not too far from Summerhall. Kim's is great. The Wee Boulangerie is a bakery, and I've actually provided bread for the show. And they're, as a bakery, they're outstanding. They're really fantastic. So yeah, those are a few places. And then also, I know that this is not a local Edinburgh place, but Dishoom, the Indian restaurant, I know that's a chain, but I always kind of try to make a pilgrimage to go there every year. I'm here too.
Just for anyone who wants to book, how long are you on for, and what's the run for your show?
The run is, I'm here till the 25th. So I'm here all month till the 25th. There's no show the 11th and no show the 18th. But other than that, it's every night at 7:20 at Summerhall. And then I have another show after that called Great Times, which is a stand-up show. And that is at 9:05, which is why we couldn't talk last night, which is why we're talking this morning, because I had to run out to that show.
Nice. Yeah, so if anyone wants to watch you have a breakdown and eat some food and just generally have a laugh about, the way that chefs can be, that's your show. And it is called...
Enjoy Your Meal. Yeah, the show is called Enjoy Your Meal at Summerhall.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having us at the show. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and thanks for your time this morning. Good luck with it all.
Thank you so much. Did you actually get any food or drink or anything last night?
I got the bread at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good. It was really good. I wonder if people are going to be surprised that, one, they get food, and two, the food's actually nice.
What's funny is the place that I'm staying in Edinburgh. It's an old friend of my co-host Kevin at the other show, and Kyle, whose flat we're staying at. He came to one of the earlier shows, and then we've been developing the food. And my girlfriend works in restaurants, and she has been here, and she helped me organize a few things. And Kyle said to us, he was like, "Corey, the food is getting good, but I'm afraid the food's going to be too good for a chef that's doing a bad job." And so I was like, I want people to walk away to have a little bit of enjoyment with it. I don't think the food will get too good, but I'm glad that you like some of it. I'm glad that you actually were impressed. That's kind of part of the point, is that even in the midst of all the chaos, you can still have some really good food. And someone who's doing so many things wrong can do just a few things right. And you can be impressed while that person is still kind of falling apart and failing.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like life in general. So it's great.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. The show, it's a very human show. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you very much again. And Enjoy Your Meal is running until the 25th.
25th. Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
What is your say? Bring what?
drain the main way.
It doesn't say like
Why? No.
look to the stars or anything?
Wayne Star will never rise.
Wayne Star will never rise.
Do not put Wayne in charge.
I'm sorry, what?
Do not put Wayne in charge.
Do not put Wayne in charge. Well, guess what? He is.
Fire Wayne, but fires in all caps.
Alright, well, it's a cooking term, so at least it's on brand.
We need to cut Wayne.
You need to cut Wayne. What else?
Can we talk about the hard seltzer?
We can. Could he? I'm gonna go start my own new restaurant. I want you all to be there night 1, okay? I'll see you soon. Thank you. My name's Wayne Swingle. I hope you enjoyed your meal.
Thanks to all my guests on this episode, and thanks to you too for listening. Please remember to rate, review and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Scran. Scran is co-produced and hosted by me, Rosalind Erskine, and co-produced, edited and mixed by Kelly Crichton.